myself, I think, is a poster child for it. Like, I wasn't paying attention to the WNBA at all. And Caitlin brought me in, and I'm watching every game, and I'm watching it more than I watch men's game, and I love it. Anytime I comment on anything, it turns into like a race war in my comments.
It's hard, I think, for the new fans, too, because they get turned off to it, because they're like, I'm actually here for the basketball.
Every time I talk about Caitlin or the league, it's just like, oh, well, of course, like, you know, racist white guy likes Caitlin Clark. It's like, I love Kelsey Mitchell. I have a Kelsey Mitchell shirt. I love Aaliyah Ball. I love the whole team. In what universe is Devin Booker worth $40 million a year and Caitlin's worth $8? It's insane.
Stud Budz are the best.
The best. People know I don't like Angel. I liked her in the stuff I saw. I thought she was funny in that. If Caitlin would start her own league with you, I'd give her $100 million and I have as many billionaires as you needed to start a league.
If Caitlin did her own league, do you know what you would want to see her do?
She'd have people lining up, including myself, and she would put the WNBA out of business. I really do believe that.
If you were WNBA Commissioner, what are you doing day one? Dave Portnoy, welcome to the Courtside Club.
Thank you.
You have become a huge fan of the WNBA over the past couple seasons, specifically Caitlin. You love the fever. You've been very vocal about all of it. But I thought today we should talk about it a little bit more. I feel like you haven't had the platform to give us all of your takes. I want to start with Napheesa Collier. She went scorched earth on Cathy Englebert, on the leadership in the WNBA. You had a nice little take on it. But where does the league go from here?
Well, I think from all reports, she's done, Cathy. They've had issues. So I agree with everything Napheesa said. I feel like that's been stuff a lot of people, myself included, have been saying about the league for a while, that their leadership stinks. And there's kind of, what their issue, to me, a lot of it is, with this new class starting with Caitlin, and if you want to include Angel, fine, and Paige coming up, like, a denial that was a gigantic shift in the landscape of the WNBA. It almost like they didn't want to just acknowledge that's what's happening, and there's major things, and that's why the TV ratings are going up, and that's why the deals are going up, and all this is happening with a very direct cause relationship. And it's like, well, no, we've been doing this league for 20 years, and this has been a slow grind. It's the natural progression of events, and not really acknowledging what is actually happening in real time right at this moment. And I think Napheesa kind of echoed a lot of those things. Also, it is fair anytime you have to talk about it. Like, Cathy represents the owners, and the owners always want to pay the players the least amount that they can pay them. She actually has her own league that is kind of competing or could compete against WNBA. So there's a lot of factors going on, but I agreed with everything Napheesa said. I also think she's a great messenger for it, because my impression of her is somebody who kind of always embraced Caitlin and the Caitlin fans and the new fans, and was very pro everything that was happening, where I feel like a lot of the players in the league weren't. So she's a very good mouthpiece for the league that seemingly everybody respects.
I mean, the timing was crazy too, because this year is obviously huge for them with the CBA negotiations. And what we've heard from it, and some players have kind of leaked some information, is that one of the biggest sticking points is that the W doesn't want their players playing in Unrivaled. And Fee and Stewie made Unrivaled so that players had somewhere to go during the offseason. Obviously, the W's different because the offseason's so much longer. And in the past, they had to go overseas to make extra money. So you have somebody who's at the negotiations table, but also with this league that benefits her, but she's doing all of this for the players. And then when you hear that Cathy was saying this stuff behind the scenes, it made more sense to me as to why she's been going as hard as she has with Unrivaled, because there's even been instances in the W where she was a WNBA All-Star, promoting Unrivaled. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. She's going, this wouldn't happen in another league.
So if I was the commissioner of the league, if I was Cathy, I would do whatever I could to get Unrivaled out. I would not want this summer league of sorts where your best players are doing this 3-on-3. I would get that into my CBA, but I would pay for it. I'd be like, listen, we have an opportunity here to build an unbelievable women's league that is very profitable, can make a ton of money, and you guys shouldn't have to worry about playing in this league. But I don't, if you look at the NBA, does Adam Silver want his best players going and playing in some other league and potentially
they're not allowed.
hurt? Yeah. So that's fair. Like, I wouldn't want that either, but you got to pay them. You can't have like both bites of the apple. I really coming at it a way that I know how popular the WNBA is getting. And unless something drastic happens, it's not going to slow down because you have more players coming into the league that whether it's Juju or whatever, people are younger, people are getting players in college known coming into the pros, just like the men's game. And it's just going to grow and there's going to be plenty of food on the table for everybody. So a problem with what they have. I don't care what the league did 10 years ago or 5 years ago. That doesn't matter. And that doesn't matter in any negotiation. It's like, well, we haven't made money for 15 years, 20 years or whatever. That doesn't matter. It is now. Like, it is now. And you have to take advantage of it now. And that's how it works. So you never know because she is in the middle and commissioners are always in the middle and commissioners are always going to take the brunt of what the owners don't want to feel. And who even knows what the real numbers are? Like when they came out, well, the owners, it's all mixed in with the WNBA, the NBA. It's super convoluted to actually figure out how much they're making, how much they're losing. And it's in the owner's interest not to really have the true numbers if they're going up. But just the television ratings and all of the media deals. I wrote an article when Caitlyn signed her Nike deal. Like instantly. I'm like, this is the dumbest. I wish I was her agent. Like she got screwed. And she did. If you look back at it, like the power of her and when her shoe comes out, like we'll see what the sales are. They're paying Devin Booker, I think $40 million a year. Like
I think Caitlyn's like getting 8, right?
So in what universe is Devin Booker worth $40 million a year and Caitlyn's worth 8. It's insane. So it's all there, it's all up, and they're not taking advantage of it. And clearly the players have lost faith in Cathy. The other side, which I'll say, I find it hypocritical, maybe the word. A lot of the players, like Angel comes out, she's like, A+, no notes. A lot of the players have resisted the Caitlyn fans and this new WNBA, and they don't seem to always equate, well, all these new fans, myself, I think is a poster child for it. Like I wasn't paying attention to the WNBA at all. And Caitlyn brought me in and I'm watching every game and I'm watching it more than I watch men's game and I love it. And bringing this new audience is what pays the bills for everybody. That's what's going to get you the private jets, the big contracts, all that. And then they're like, no, we don't want them. We don't want these new fans. Like we hate Indiana fans. And some of the things Cathy did, which like, why would you alienate your league? The perfect example, which I have talked about, I don't know if you were at the game, but the game that supposedly the monkey noises were being yelled at Angel Reese.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because from my understanding, the investigation started from like a rumor on Twitter.
Yeah.
But did someone reach out to you about it thinking it was you doing that?
People thought it was me. It started as like, well, it was like reported it was me. Like,
so it was reported that you were the one making the noise.
Yeah, which is like absolutely the most insane thing. I've been a million like courtside games. Like, it's so stupid.
Never in full uniform, though.
Never in full uniform. I was supporting Caitlyn. It was kind of a bit. But yes, so that game, it was a troll on Twitter. And there's a lot of them. And they don't care about anything. They've turned it into like a race war. It's so stupid. But no matter what Caitlyn does, her fans are racist or whatever. And in reverse, Angel will have the same. It's the back and forth, which we've all seen. But this started as a total troll who wasn't at the game that somehow the WNBA acknowledges and be like, we're launching an investigation when this is a nationally televised game. There's not one camera angle. There's nobody there. Like you're sitting around in a crowd of people. If something like that is going on, you're going to be kicked out of the game. It's going to be an instant, like major incident. It was so obvious to launch an investigation into it. And then everybody runs wild. The truth of the thing is everyone's like, oh, there goes Indiana fans again.
Right.
That Indiana crowd was the most like family, little girls. That was like the nicest sporting event crowd I've ever been at in my life.
Yeah, you're a Michigan fan.
Yeah, Michigan,
the worst.
Celtics, LeBron. Like this was like hugs and kisses crowd. It was very friendly. And again, you're allowed to boo athletes. You're allowed not to like. I think I yelled "Ball don't lie." Like, I thought it was a bad technical and she missed a free throw. To not embrace that and make everything so much bigger and be like, we don't want that in our game. It's like, if you want the professional league that is going to have eyes on it and talking about it and the endorsements, that's what pro sports are. People root for teams. People have favorite players. People have players they don't like. Like even the incident with the Stud Budz. So I watched their entire feed during WNBA All-Star Weekend, and I thought they were hilarious, funny. I thought they got...
Stud Budz are the best.
The best. And they even like, I said, people know I don't like Angel. I liked her in the stuff I saw. I thought she was funny in that. And
wait, so can you clarify though? You don't like Angel because of the basketball, because you are a super fan of Caitlyn. Is that correct?
I started hating Angel in the ring game.
Okay.
When she was falling around doing that, and I called her a classless piece of shit. That got transformed to Dave's racist. I didn't even know who she was. I don't care who did that. I was rooting for Caitlyn. That was like the first year I was a Caitlyn fan. And I've never seen anybody act like Angel did after the game, and I'll go to my grave. I've said this a million times. You will never find footage of any athlete in a championship taunting another player the way she did. And people are like, well, Caitlyn did it first. Caitlyn never did. People alter foot. Caitlyn did this like once to herself. It wasn't like she followed around and played. It just doesn't exist. People who say, like Stephen A. Smith, is like, well, she did it. No, Caitlyn never. Yeah, Caitlyn talks, but she never did it like that. So whatever, it didn't matter who it was. But then that started the rivalry. And to be honest, Angel provoked it. From there on in, Angel, for a long time, would just keep taking shots at Caitlyn and her fans. And even you go back when, what's her name, cheap shot at her, and did like the lambada after that on the bench when she knocked her down. It's just she did things that made you hate her. No different than any other rivalry, pretty much. Like, I hated Peyton Manning. I was a Tom Brady fan. And every time Peyton Manning did something, I'd attack him. Like, that's what it is to be a sports fan. So that started it. And then the rivalry grows. And the more it grows, the more you're like, well, I don't like that person and I like that person. That was really all there is to it.
And so then you said you saw Angel in the Stud Budz and you liked her in that and you liked what the Stud Budz were doing. And then obviously there was this rumor that you guys were possibly going to collab because you came out and like made multiple bits about the Stud Budz. You're like, I love these girls. Yeah.
Love it. I bought their jumpsuits. They didn't get arrived. They never arrived. I don't know what that's all about. But yes, I loved it. Their manager reached out to me. It's like, hey, like, we'd love to do something with the Stud Budz. I'm like, absolutely. I think they're hilarious. And they said one of them was a day trader. And I do like my day trading, like thing. She's into stocks. So she was maybe going to come on the show. And we were DMing back and forth.
Oh, that's cool.
And she was like super cool. And then everyone starts shaming them. They're like, you can't associate with Dave because he doesn't like Angel. He said these things about Angel. And to be honest, I wasn't trying to make their lives more difficult. Like, I thought it would be cool, like introduce them to our world, and they're funny and good content. But it became such a huge thing, and it's like they're getting pressure. And they said, she DM'd, she's like, I'm just trying to love everybody. I'm not trying to get in the middle of something. And I actually felt bad. So I didn't push it. I didn't talk about it because like, this isn't why I said I liked them. And I'm not trying to make this into a race thing or whatever it is. I think it's good for the league. I think they're funny. I think it was a really cool stream and it blew up into a thing. Again, it's just how stupid to me, the league, their fans, whatever it can be. It's like, why wouldn't you want people to embrace all your players? It's just like, it's an opportunity that you just threw away for absolutely no reason. You think 90% of our crowd know who the Stud Budz are? No. But if we introduced it, they probably would be like, oh, these women are pretty funny and cool. So it's just wasted things like that are just crazy to me.
They caught a lot of heat, and a lot of us, like every WNBA fan, has gotten it at some point. Like, I see the comments, all of the things, and it's crazy. And I'm coming from the men's sports world where, again, if you say you hate a team, it's the reaction that you get. If I say, like, I hate Michigan, by the way, I do. I hate Michigan, like, nobody cares. They're like, of course she does. She's from Ohio. If I would say I hate the Aces, all of a sudden it's made into something that it's like, it's an alternate motive or something. And I'm like, well, no. And I know not to say that because of how it's interpreted. But I do think also with the Barstool audience, like, you have such a wide range of shows. You have from Chicks in the Office to what's it like $1 million
Yeah, $1 million worth of game. Yep.
worth of games. You have the Pat Bev show. Like there's a lot of actual different audiences at Barstool that could be opened up to the WNBA. And I think that there's portions of the Barstool audience that might change their mind about the WNBA also.
Well, that's what I don't get. Yeah, I said that. And I'm not like trying to toot my own horn, but we have a gigantic digital brand that's been around for 20 years. I just happened to organically really fall in love with the way Caitlin played, and became organically interested in the league and was following it, not because I was getting paid, not for anything. I just loved the league. And it's hard anytime you watch a game or get into it if someone's just gonna be like, well, he's racist, or it's like, what? I don't even understand like why you would say that. And the WNBA has had, by the way, tons of white superstars like that. That's, I never have understood that point. Like some of the biggest names are the Taurasi, Sabrina, whatever. They didn't captivate me or a lot of people the way Caitlin does. And it's because of the way she plays. It's like crazy, but,
yeah. What was that moment for you when you started to become a Caitlin fan?
So I bet on sports. It was like the women's Final Four, and I was watching it was the tournament, and she was just running and gunning. She was pulling up from like the logo. It was like, this is when she was on that insane run. This was junior year. And it was like, who the hell is that? Like, I haven't seen anyone really play the women's game quite like she's playing, like at the speed she's playing, pulling up like that. And I just started following her every move. So watched all the way through there. That was the year they lost to LSU. And then like I flew to Albany to watch the rematch versus LSU. I was at that game. So I just really became a fan. And since it was kind of like, obviously she was huge when I started following her, but she hadn't hit where she was. So we started talking a little bit and became like friendly with her. You just become a fan. But
it was the basketball, because a lot
100%.
of people, because that's what I always argue. And I'm like, the majority of people who are watching Caitlin, like the vast majority are there because of the basketball first. It's not the extra stuff that everybody seems to think that it is.
Yeah, and any story can get hijacked by like a small minority, and it certainly does on both sides. Like I feel bad for her. Like she can't win because whatever she says gets twisted or whatever. It's almost like better off saying nothing. But it's the basketball. It's 100% the basketball. She played the game in a totally different way than we had really seen, or at least I had. It's not like I was I'd watch occasionally, but it was like, you just look your head up at the TV and you're like, who is that? Like that woman, that girl's playing differently than I've ever seen before. And that's what gets you in. It's no different than like Steph Curry. It's like, there's a guy doing stuff at his size. Like, I really haven't seen that before. And you start watching, it's no different. And it happens, if you want to look at tennis with, the Williams sisters, like, that's different. Tiger, you just have athletes.
I think she's most comparable to Tiger in the way that she elevated a sport, because even when you think about Steph Curry, when you think about LeBron, obviously they've had huge impacts on the game, but elevating an entire sport the way that she did. And the reason I'm also so vocal about the WNBA now, and I've also had similar takes as yours, calling out some of these things. I'm like, how do you fumble what you have in front of you, is because when I was a kid playing basketball, like I never saw the WNBA as somewhere I wanted to be. I would go to Cleveland Rockers games and I would see the crowd that was there. And then I'd go to Tennessee Lady Vols games and I'd say, oh, there's like a ton of people here in college, but why would I want to play beyond that? These girls like have to play during the off season. There's no fans in the seats. And so now I'm seeing it now. I said, there's so much opportunity for everyone now. Like, let's capitalize on it like the most that you possibly can. Yeah.
And it's crazy. And we've seen all the way, whether what was it the Atlanta Dream owner who was like,
why don't you put everyone on the cover?
Yeah. And like, and like, we do. And yet Caitlin like outsold their tickets. You move to bigger arenas because of it's embraced
scheduling conflict.
Yeah. And by all accounts, Caitlin is like super dedicated to the league. Like she loves the league. She fights behind the scenes, and they have not embraced it. And it's nuts. And it's not just her now, which makes, like I've said as a business person, I would buy a team. Like if you let me, which they never would, but like if I could buy a team, I think the prices are just going to keep going up because it's not just Caitlin, but Caitlin's put the eyes on the league, and then you look around, it's like, oh, they have some real superstars coming up, and this league's future is so bright. And then you have the old guard that seemingly at times has really tried to fight it. Like you hear the rumors like the Asia Wilson, like the Nike shoe can't come out because the Caitlin shoe, and they got to keep that separate. It's just like so stupid. Like a rising tide floats all boats.
So if you were WNBA commissioner, what are you doing day one?
The media deals, I mean, I don't know how they're doing them. I just think you got to know your value. And it goes back a little bit to the Nike deal. Like your value is far greater. And at times, like that may mean you may have to take a risk. You may have to be like, if you don't get what you want, figure out. You can put games on pay-per-view. You can get different networks. Like Dana White in the UFC has done that a lot. Like, hey, if we don't, we believe in our product and we'll push our chips to the table. So I am such a firm believer in what they have. I would also upgrade, like, going courtside NBA, and I know they don't have the money, but like courtside NBA versus like Indiana. Like, yeah, I went into it, and these are little things, but like I went to the game, you buy a courtside seat, your front row, you got to buy like a Coke down in the like area where it's generally upgrade the experience. Like, don't be cheap. This league has the ability to be great. Start acting like you are great. Like you don't need to get the money and then pour it back in. Start treating yourself like an A plus league, and everything will kind of come together. And I think they don't do that yet. I think they're kind of like, well, do we have the budget? Do we have this? And I get that matters, but the money's there. Like I was talking to a guy the other day. It's like if Caitlin would start her own league with you, I'd give her $100 million, and I have as many billionaires as you needed to start a league. Like the league is there. So they got to start acting like it. Like the ratings show it, the interest shows it. We're talking about it. You turn on Fox Sports, or ESPN, they talk about the WNBA a lot. That was never the case like 3-4 years ago.
I mean, last season was insane, and you can look at the ratings too. And I think there was like the fevered numbers actually were better than some NBA teams' numbers when it came to viewership last season. And so like the numbers are there. What about paying the girls? Did you hear the rumor that they were offered a 4-time salary raise, which would put, I believe, like the max at $1 million? Because I think it's $250, so it would be at $1 million. What would you do about that? But they're also fighting for a revenue split, also, which gets a little bit tricky because the NBA owns half the league.
Right.
The WNBA owns like 10% of the league.
That's
so
where it gets convoluted.
tricky.
I don't care about where I differ. It's easy to be like, well, we offered them a 4% raise. We offered them a 10% raise. Who cares? If you're making $1 and then you got a 20% raise and you're making $20, you're still underpaid. And if the league wasn't doing well, then maybe no raise. But like that, we gave them X amount of raise. That shouldn't matter. It's like, how much are we making? How much is out there? How valuable is our league? And I think there's a million ways they can make revenue. I mean, $1 million for these top players as a maximum seems wildly low. Like when they're selling out these buildings and stuff, it seems wildly low. The new franchise sold for what, $3 billion? And even that seems crazy what they're doing. The guy who Peg Luka, who's from the Celtics, part of the old ownership, wants to move them to Boston for $3 billion. Let the guy move the team from Mohegan Sun to Boston. Supposedly the league's like, no, we want to go to Cleveland or something. So little things like that. But if the franchises are going up, it's hard for a superstar to be like, the most I can make here is $1 million. That seems crazy. And they're selling the tickets.
Yeah. And I'm asking you as a businessman who has a lot more experience in this as well, but what would be better for them? Do they hold out if it gets to the point where a lockout is coming? Because there's also so much momentum that I don't think you want to halt. So
I think you got to. If you don't get
think
where
you have to lock out?
Yeah, because then you're going to be stuck in this new CBA or whatever it is, and you can only negotiate it once.
3 years they can negotiate again.
Yeah, so it's a long time if they don't like the deal. I think you can hold it. It's a rare thing, and this is, I don't know enough about it. Like I know they're tied in with the NBA. So how easy is it to go get other stadiums? I think there's a ton of people who would be very quickly to be like, let's go do a different league. And you see it, whether it's Live Golf competing versus the PGA or, the USFL trying to compete versus the NFL. If the top players, and you have this Unrivaled, but if Caitlin's a huge part because she's not in that, but if Caitlin and Paige and Juju and Angel, like, see ya, like, we're going to go, WNBA has nothing. So the leverage is more probably on the players than maybe it would be like in the old days. You're probably too young, but like the NFL won on strike and they use scabs. They use like fake players and everyone still watched. It didn't affect anything and it broke the players union. The superstars matter here. And I think wherever Caitlin and that group of players goes, like, I'd follow, like, at WNBA out, we got another league where these players are coming. Fine with it. So I don't think you can just cave because, hey, we have all this momentum, blah, blah, blah. I would advise against that. That's what the league is hoping they'll do.
Have you reached out to Napheesa or anyone on the Unrivaled team?
No.
Or did you watch it last year?
I watched some of it. I mean, I'm a 5-on-5 guy and Caitlin wasn't in the league. I was more interested. I'd see like Lexi playing with Angel, I think, and be like, how are they getting along? Like that type of thing. I watched some of it, but I'm not into like the big three or the Unrivaled. Like I'm a core, I want to see the 5 up and down. Now, if Caitlin played it, maybe it would have been a little different. But I didn't watch a ton of it.
Did you watch the 2024 All-Star game?
No, I heard it was miserable.
No, last year.
Oh, the first one.
When it was Team USA
yes,
versus...
I did. Yeah.
So you had to be an Angel fan in that game.
It takes I won't go that far to say like a fan. The closest I became a fan of hers was during the Stud Budz stuff, in which I thought she was very funny. But, I know she hates my guts. She has me like blocked and stuff like that, so...
Fair enough. What else have you experienced from the W? Because you said they're trying to run you out of the league. You've been to one game? Is that all you've been to?
No, I went and saw the Fever play in Boston, and I went to their home opener. But it's everything. Anytime maybe I shouldn't say that, is anytime I comment on anything, it turns into like a race war in my comments. It's like, well, of course Dave would say this or whatever. It's just nuts. It's what you echoed earlier. Like, to me, in weird ways, sort of a compliment. Like, I talk the same way about watching this game as I would the Celtics. Like, I don't really think much about it. I'm like, that player's a piece of shit. I hate LeBron. And that gets taken to a level that in sports, like, why I don't know where it does that. And I think it is a little bit the commentators. Like, they haven't embraced Caitlin. There's the dialogue around, you have top people be like, well, it's just because she's white, or it's just, and they've turned it into a race thing, and it really isn't. So yeah, do you really, from my perspective, like every time I talk about Caitlin or the league, it's just like, oh, well, of course, like, racist white guy likes Caitlin Clark. It's like, I love Kelsey Mitchell. I have a Kelsey Mitchell shirt. I love Aaliyah Ball. I love the whole team, but if you like those players, then that's a tired thing to have to just anytime you want to talk about a league, be labeled as a racist.
It's hard, I think, for the new fans, too, because they get turned off to it because they're like, I'm actually here for the basketball. And now you're kind of labeling a whole group of people. And a lot of people even saying, like, well, you weren't here before. I actually was. When I lived in LA, I went to Sparks games all the time. I know a lot of former WNBA players. Candace Parker, I'm not sure if you heard this. Candace Parker
been pretty positive.
And she also said, she was like, there's a little bit of sensitivity in the WNBA because for so long, the W was the butt of a lot of jokes. And that's fair enough. So there's a little bit of sensitivity, but she said, like, the league has to grow in a way. You have to be able to talk about the sport. You have to be able to criticize a player for how they're playing on the court. You have to be able to say someone's great and not add somebody else into the mix and say, well, they're great, but also this next 10 people are also great, just to make sure that you're giving everyone their flowers. And so I do feel like hopefully it's just some growing pains and it will get there as more and more fans are coming into the league.
Yeah, you'd hope so. I mean, you'd hope so. It shouldn't matter. Like that's the thing, like what you said. It shouldn't matter whether you were there 10 years ago. They should be more excited to be like, oh, Dave wasn't here two years ago. Like that's what you want. You have to, every league's like grow the game. Well, whatever sport, NFL will go overseas, Europe, you have to keep growing the game. I've never seen a sport that seems to be like, we don't want to grow the game. We want to get paid like we're growing the game, but we actually don't want these new fans. And there's so many incidents. Like the game I was at that sparked the whole thing was the Caitlyn foul, which was not a flagrant. She just tried to stop Angel. Angel went crazy. You're going to get criticized when you make a play like that. I don't care what side you're on, but that, as like someone who doesn't like Angel, so I have my view of the world, but yeah, obviously they're like, that's bullshit. And that wasn't a technical. And that play becomes some huge like race war. No, that's a basketball play that if that happens with two people who don't like each other, if Draymond does that to somebody in the NBA, everyone's talking about it. And they're not going to be like, well, Draymond's this. There's going to be like, Draymond's a jerk. And that's kind of the same way it got, that I talk about here. But like you said, it takes on this mushroom cloud of stuff that really have nothing to do with it.
You talked about if Caitlyn did her own league. Do you know anything about Caitlyn's offseason plans or what you would want to see her do?
I listen. If
you said you'd partner with her and give her $100 million. That's the biggest offer that she's gotten. So
if she would have let me be her agent, I would have in a second. And if she's like, I'll start a new league with you, I would get her whatever you want. I don't think she'll ever do that. Like I talk with her never about that stuff. But based on she has State Farm, Nike, Gatorade. Those are like blue blood. She never runs at Tom Brady in a way. Like very rarely, if ever, publicly says anything that like should cause any waves. She's kind of like been a good trooper for the Fever and the league. So I think she wants to make the WNBA work. I think she grew up wanting to play in it, but you have to have a certain personality. Like I think if she truly was like, I'm out of here, I'm starting my own league, she'd have people lining up, including myself, and she would put the WNBA out of business. I really do believe that. I think she's that powerful for the whole league. And pay the others. Like money talks. Like if you get the money lined up and you get the superstars, like, oh, you can only make $1 million here, you can make $5 million with our league. I think it would work.
I mean, when she was golfing, originally when she did that little celebrity golf thing, it wasn't going to be televised. And there were so many people emailing them saying like, can we see this? Like, how can we see this? And then all of a sudden it was on television. And so even that in itself, it's like Caitlyn, she hit somebody with the golf ball.
Yeah.
That's like, she's not, it's not like she's this phenomenal golfer that, no offense, Caitlyn, but like
she would be top 3. Like if I could just be like, hey, I want Barstool to rep you and have the rights to like use your marketing, and she would top the line, male, female, any. I believe that's how powerful she really is. And again, I think once she launches her Nike shoe, it's going to do numbers that Nike should be embarrassed by how much they're paying. They should like rip it up, be like, Devin Booker's $40 million, you're $100 million.
What male players do you think are bigger than her right now?
In any sport right now? I mean, LeBron is obviously gigantic. The overseas guys, the soccer guys.
Would you put Steph Curry as more popular than Caitlyn, or Caitlyn over Steph at this point?
They're pretty close, I would say. Maybe Steph still, but
I think those are the only 2 NBA players I have that I think are bigger than her at the moment.
Trying to think of others that could be there. LeBron. Who else is? It's not. Who just won the champion? Oh, no, it's nobody on that team.
No, Casey.
Yeah, I mean Luka maybe because the international aspect of what he does. Football. I mean, what Mahomes is? Kelsey is probably bigger because of the Taylor stuff. But she's up there. I mean, she's up there. I mean, Taylor Swift doesn't like just befriend you like that unless you're up there. Have you
met Taylor yet?
No. She gave me the handwritten letter. That's it. I went to her concert. Her brother gave me a handwritten letter from her saying thank you for the support over the years.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I know you're a huge Swiftie.
Huge Swiftie. Big day today.
Wait, why? What's today?
Concert. Her album's coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it
Diary
was
of a
tomorrow.
Showgirl.
Isn't
Yeah.
it the 3rd?
Today's the 3rd, isn't it?
No.
Oh, tomorrow. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought today was the 3rd.
No, it's all good.
Getting confused.
What other players have you started becoming a fan of since
Well, I like
you started
Napheesa.
watching? You know they have the same agent, right?
I didn't know that.
They have the same agent. You know who also has the same agent is Dejanay Carrington.
No, I hate her. That's surprising to me that they have the same agent.
So do you hate her because of the foul on Caitlyn?
Yeah, that started in the rivalry, but I also don't like her like attitude and the way she talks, and like I've seen stupid videos of her on like she just seems like a jerk to me. Like,
see, I've heard the complete opposite from players
that
about
they like
Dejanay.
her.
That like she's super goofy. She's like super fun to be. That's what I've heard from players. Is like
she
she's
could
the
be.
goofiest,
I mean, I don't know any of these
super
women
fun.
like personally.
So
yeah. Basically, if I start viewing you as a rival of Caitlyn on the court, that starts my dislike for you. But that again is the normal court. Like the Red Sox are playing the Yankees. You mentioned your producer. Like I tweeted yesterday, I forgot how much I hate this team and their fans. If you say that in WNBA, like that literally starts a chain of events where it's like you don't even know how you got there. No one takes that. And when I say hit the Yankees and their players, everyone's just like, well, we hate you too, and you move on and you play. I mean, I like all the Fever players. Like,
did you watch Game 5?
yeah, brutal.
That was crazy.
Brutal.
Can we talk about Kelsey Mitchell? Because the injury, I don't even know if you call it an injury or
cramps. Yeah.
No, it was worse than that.
I thought they just said it was cramps.
No, she came out yesterday, and I don't know how to pronounce it. I talked about it in yesterday's video, but her body honestly started shutting down, and they had to get her to the hospital. It's something with her
I saw
blood
her
cells.
I didn't know it was that. I thought I saw that it was just lower body cramps.
No, so her body started shutting down. She couldn't feel her lower body. It was almost like tingling. I don't want to misquote, but like she was like felt paralyzed, and like things started shutting down, and then her whole body started cramping because of that. But essentially it's because like she basically left it all on the court. I mean, she played till she could not play anymore.
That would have been like the greatest probably underdog story like since the 1980 like Miracle on Ice. The fact they even got that far with all the injuries, and it was obviously when she went down, it's like, well, this game's over. Aaliyah had 5 fouls. They were down 7, I think, when she got hurt, and they have no players. Then they get to overtime. The fouls on Aaliyah Boston were kind of, I would say, extremely ticky-tacky in an elimination game, like a couple of fouls, the screen. In a weird way, and she'd never say it. She hasn't said it to me. She maybe not even her conscience. If the Fever ever won the championship without Caitlyn, I don't know what that would have done for the pressure on her. So in a weird way, if you're just a Caitlyn fan, you may be like, that may be better that they didn't win, because imagine if they won without her. That would hang over her forever till you win like 10 in a row. So I had so much money on the Fever. I had an insane, I bet them to win the championship in the beginning with the Florida Gators and college hoops, who won. So like I could have won like millions if they won. I didn't think they had a chance, but they made it a lot further than I thought. I also think the Mercury are going to destroy the Aces.
Yeah, I do too. The Aces are it's Asia Wilson show.
Yeah.
I mean, she's putting up 30, 40 a night.
So I obviously hate DeWanna Bonner.
Because she left the Fever.
The whole way that left and ended, and all the he said, she said, and they were pretty heated. That would have been incredible if they played them. And I loved her when she came.
I think that would have been the most toxic finals
in
the history of the world.
Yeah, it would have.
I mean, I wasn't alive in the 80s, but I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, I loved DeWanna when she was on the team, and that's kind of the microscope of how it happens. Like I bet them when they got her. I'm like, oh, this is like the veteran championship leader they need. They're going to be so good. Clearly didn't work out. I don't know exactly what happened. She, according to Sophie, just kind of went MIA, didn't tell anybody. And then, they have the words. So like, all right, I went from liking you to now I don't like you. No different than when Roger Clemens left the Red Sox and went to Toronto, the Yankees, or Wade. Like, that's sports. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I blame the front office a little bit because they didn't get anything for her. And I feel like if that was the NBA, like they're not just going to let a star go.
Yeah. Do you know
what I mean? Like there wasn't a trade. They didn't get anything back. And you saw like the Jimmy Butler situation. It's like, no, we're going to make sure we get something.
Well, that's the WNBA because they start
Yeah.
turning it into like not sports somehow. It's like you're being treated unfairly in like life. It's like, well, you signed a contract.
Do you ever plan on doing stuff at Barstool for WNBA content?
Well, I mean, we tried to. Was that like a leading question? We were.
It's not actually. It's not. I'm not even trying to go there. But.
Yeah, I mean, we got to find it the right. I mean, I'm the only one who really like loves it. I know you can leave it and cut it. We obviously were trying to you and Sophie for a WNBA podcast that I thought was going to get done, and then it didn't. So we look for like the right things, but I certainly think the appetite is there for it.
So there's
there's always a possibility. Like I wasn't necessarily looking like the Sophie thing was kind of organic. It's like I knew she was looking to do something. It's like, oh, this is a good fit. I'm interested in it. Well, let's see if we can put it together. Fizzled. Maybe it'll come back. I don't know.
I want to flip to the NBA though. You have Pat Bev there, but you signed Jason Williams.
Yes.
What's going on there?
So I think
love him, by the way. Worked with him multiple times.
So I think
he's a great
we are
basketball
going to
mind.
combine Pat Bev, Jay Will, and Roan and do like a basketball podcast with the three of them.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that will be sick.
Yes. So I met Jay Will is a big Barstool fan. So he reached out, and that kind of goes back to the last point. Like he proactively reached out. He's like, I'm a big fan. Would you guys ever be interested in working with me? Went down. We went like bass fishing actually with Randy Moss and hit it off. And so we've had that in the works. Probably start in the next month or so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, Jason Williams is, when it comes to just basketball mind, basketball IQ,
he's hilarious
insane.
too. He's a very funny dude.
Yeah, because he's also one of those guys, like he wasn't naturally super athletic and didn't have that. So he had to go off of his IQ and skill. So I just always, appreciate players like that. Can we also talk about Mrs. Peaches?
Sure.
Miss Peaches?
Yeah, Miss Peaches.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And now you have two.
Yeah, Pete the Beagle.
Pete the Beagle. So you adopted Miss Peaches. I'm a cat lady.
Ouch.
Well, okay, you can't love Miss Peaches the way that you do and not also.
No, I don't like cats.
Well, but how?
I think they're devious.
Okay. It's because you want an animal that's just gonna love you immediately. Not you got to earn a cat's trust.
Yeah, I always think in the end the cat's trying to like plot probably to like kill you.
Yeah, I mean that's standard. But anyway, with Miss Peaches, so you adopted her, and then you've given back a lot to animal shelters, which I also think is amazing because I've volunteered in shelters a lot with the cats, adopted, rescue cats my whole life. Can you tell me more?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to get a dog. Like my ex-girlfriend had a dog. We broke up. So I've had dogs my whole life. So I saw a picture of her in the shelter. She was Lifeline Animal Shelter, which is a great shelter in Atlanta. And I just fell in love with her, like on the picture. Flew down. I wasn't planning on like making her necessarily like content or anything, but I did film my meeting with her, like when I first saw her, and people just fell in love with her. Like they just absolutely fell in love with her. And it's like, all right, I have something here. And we started posting more videos of her like coming into my life and, going from the shelter. She now is like outhouse to the penthouse, hit a lottery ticket, and people just resonated. And it was a way I could tell right away we can give back. So selling t-shirts, merch, we have Lucky One Lemonade, which is like a vodka lemonade you can buy. And 100% of what I don't make $1 off Miss Peaches. She has her own Instagram. I think like 1.5 million followers or something. She is a superstar. Like we've had superstars come through our doors. Alice Cooper, Pat McAfee. Nobody is bigger than Miss Peaches. People go bananas when they see her. And then, it just got like the thought, do we want to get her a brother or sister? Because I travel a lot. We have a dog sitter, but I feel bad leaving her. So same shelter, and got Pete the Beagle, and they're like best friends.
Miss Peaches was also on Fallon, no?
Oh yeah. She was.
That wasn't
Fallon.
even your appearance. That
No.
was you just like.
Yeah. She's been to galas. Like it's gotten to the point. I used to take her to a decent amount of spots, but she gets mobbed and she doesn't know what's going on. Like we took her to the Final Four. Like the cheerleading teams are like coming to the hotel, just like stalking the door to wait to see her. And she's super friendly. She delivers in person. Like she is exactly what you expect. But when you have like 100 people swarming a dog, she's like, what is going on? So I've stopped taking her nearly. Like Kirk Herbstreit I just had a little rant about him. He called his dog the Taylor Swift of college football. And I love all dogs, and he's got a great dog. Very disrespectful to Miss Peaches. Like, I can't bring Miss Peaches to the college games because we need the National Guard to protect her.
She needs her own security.
Yes.
Well, if you ever want to collaborate and do something where we're also giving back to the cats, please let me know.
Well, the
if you
Lifeline
need
Animal
some-
Shelter certainly, I think, has all animals. So it probably goes to all, and they do a tremendous job.
I did want to ask, what was this one tweet that I saw? Oh, where you said that you were going to open a WNBA bar. It made me think of it because you talked about
This is a while back.
getting
I said
mobbed.
I think it would be successful. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you thought about it at all?
No.
Or you're just
No. I mean, I forget what I was talking about there. It's probably hard to...
You said I might be, I'm remembering now. You said I might be the first one to open a WNBA sports bar.
I probably was joking. I mean, I was so deep in it. Like, I watched... I'm not going to lie. Did I watch every second once Caitlin went down? No, not as much. I was still watching and paying attention and following the team. But I mean, I didn't miss 1 second of action last year. I watched every single game. I was watching other games, playoff standings. I mean, I was deep in it. So, and there is no, I mean, they got to clean up the league. The refereeing is atrocious, and you can't.
What do you think is the change there?
You got to let your superstars be superstars. You can't let your best players be getting mugged, freedom of movement, things like that. Like, people don't want to, there's a reason why everyone's hurt. Like, protect your players. Like, it's not in the NBA. Yeah, okay, fine. In the beginning, like, Jordan was getting hammered, but like, you don't want.
But they changed the rules.
Correct. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to be like, we want Caitlin or Paige to shine. Like, that helps the game. Let your superstars be superstars. That's what we want to see. Don't let 30 people mug Caitlin on a screen to try to get an open three. You can't do that with Steph Curry. Don't let him do it here. Let your play, like, design the game to be pleasing to the eye. I like a degree of the physicality. It makes it interesting to watch, but you got to let your superstars be superstars and protect them. Like, that has to happen to grow the game.
A lot of Fever fans complain about Asia's special whistle, and I've also been one to say, like, she deserves a special whistle. She's the best player in the league. They should be protecting her. The thing that I thought was wild was Caitlin almost had like the opposite of a special whistle.
Yes.
It was like, go at her. And it's just physicality. You gotta
hammer, do whatever.
Physical.
And like, she is a type. And again, it just, Cathy, the league, like, if Caitlin goes for 40 and 15 on a night, they should be high-fiving. They should be like, that's our girl. Like, this is going to lead every broadcast. You get the feeling they're like, Caitlin, she got us again. It's like, what are you, like, why aren't you rooting for her? It's crazy.
Well, Paige got a decent whistle when she came in too, but I also think Paige deserves it. Paige is also
100%.
big. Yeah.
But she's also like, I don't really understand why Paige doesn't have like that animosity that Caitlin has.
No. You mean from like fans?
And other players and stuff like that. It doesn't seem to exist.
Yeah, I think the first year with Caitlin being in the league and all those growing pains, if that's what you want to call it, it shielded Paige a little bit. And I also feel bad for Paige because she gets thrown into a lot of the comparisons too. Right. And then you also hear the media, which blows my mind. They're always complaining that certain players don't get enough coverage, but then they compare it to Caitlin. And it's like, you're bringing up Caitlin while bringing up another player, but then complaining about the other player not getting enough spotlight. Like, just talk about that other player then.
And Caitlin's coverage is because the fan base is there. Like that, that's the reason that the difference there is jealousy. Basically, it's like, well, she hasn't done anything. Why is everyone talking about her nonstop? It's like, well, it's because whether you think it's justified or not, she has carved out and created this enormous fan base by the way she plays the game. Maybe it's a little bit of where she went to school. Like, they didn't have that. Like, if she's just another player in the long line at UConn, maybe it doesn't explode like this, but it wasn't. She's the first at Iowa, in the Midwest and exposing people who maybe weren't paying attention to women's hoops. So it's just all built on each other. And then you're seeing a woman play a game at a different speed, different pace than anything people's seen. And it's jealousy.
Did you watch the Valkyries at all? Did you see anything that they were doing?
I watched them a little bit.
Because I thought it was super impressive. They sold out every home game. They actually had the highest attendance of all teams this season.
Which bodes great for the league. That's where it all goes back to, like, that's how the prices go up. And I love Kate Martin, so I was watching her.
Kate Martin was there. Natalie Nakase won Coach of the Year.
Yep.
I mean, that's cool. See, you've actually gotten into the league more. You watched some Valkyries, not just Fever this season.
That's the point. That's the
no, I know it's the point. I'm just saying, I'm trying to lay it out as like clear as we possibly can, because I also wanted to have you on because I just feel like there's just misconceptions, and you're a polarizing guy, but you talk about the WNBA like you talk about every other sport. And I feel like there's almost a level of respect there because you're considering it as the best women's basketball league in the world.
And I also know there's nothing that I'll ever say, this interview or anything. I've been doing this long enough. The people who don't like me are going to stick with whatever narratives they have of me, and they'll bring up old things that have been said about me, and they won't dig into it because I stand by everything I've ever done and said. Like, they'll go back again to the Angel, be, well, he called Angel a classless piece of. Yeah, I thought she was. Like, I did. It had absolutely nothing to do with the color of her skin. I thought she acted like a classless piece of in that moment, and that's it. And then she continued the rivalry, and then that's great. It's actually great for the league. I don't think it should be on race lines, but, like, it's to have those rivalries, great.
Dave, before I let you go, I have some courtside questions for you.
Okay.
So what's the best pizza that you've ever had courtside? Have you had... I saw you had some in Indiana, right? You did a pizza review.
I've never had good courtside. The Garden actually has TD. The Celtics have decent in the fancy section. I don't know that you can get it like in underneath a tunnel before you go in. It's not bad, but I've never had like great pizza at a sporting event.
So like what out of 10 at the TD Garden?
A high 6.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
If there was one person dead or alive that you could sit courtside with, who would it be?
I'm a big Charles Barkley fan. Jimmy Buffett passed. I met him for lunch. Those are kind of my like two guys. So let's say Jimmy, since he's passed away.
Have you done content, not to just like blow past Jimmy, but have you done content with Charles?
No. He's been on our networks. Like I've talked to him, I've texted with him, but he's never like done anything with me. No.
That'd be a sound bite.
I love him. Yeah.
Like gold mine.
Yeah. No, I love him.
And what is one event in history that you would have loved to have been courtside for? This could be a sporting event or other.
So anything that I could have watched.
Yeah.
Probably the Miracle on Ice. Second time I mentioned earlier, so it was in my brain. Maybe Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson.
When was that?
Maybe around 1986-ish.
Okay.
Or Muhammad Ali. Like, prize fights are the best, so like the Rumble in Jungle maybe. It's a good question. I haven't given it. I've been to a lot of, so I'm a Boston sports fan through and through. And I've been to, like I was to the 28-3 Super Bowl. I was there. I was at the Malcolm Butler interception game. I was at all the home Red Sox games when they came back versus the Yankees from 3-0. So I've been blessed to be at a lot of like big, great sporting events.
Cool. Well, Dave, thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course.
If you ever do decide to buy a team, go for that job as commissioner, because I heard you say you'd be interested in it, although they'd never have you. Any of those updates, make sure that you keep us cued in.
I will. I can say with some degree of confidence, none of those things will ever happen. But if they do, I'll be sure to let you know.
If you create some content around the WNBA, how about that one?
All right. That's better.
Okay,
that's better.
that one's more likely.
All right.
Thank you.